No limit. We back, man. We are back with another reaction for y'all, man. Today we got, we're doing a little something different today, man. I know you guys see the overlay with the circle. Let me know if you enjoy that more, or you want me to go back to the old, the way I've always been doing it, man. Because I enjoy either way, but just trying out new things, man. Spice it up, keep it fresh. Anyway, today we got 15 psychological facts that will blow your mind. I like this though. This little art right here we got with the light bulb and it's a metaphor, if you will. To think, our thoughts. Is what It's the creative spark that drives us. Anyway, man, we're gonna get into this 15 psychological facts that will blow your mind. Let's get it, go. Here we go.
Hey everyone, I'm Peter from Top Think, and today we're going to learn about 15 psychological facts that will blow your mind. Now, let's begin. Number 1, the Dunning-Kruger effect. In 1999, two social psychologists discovered something about intelligent people. They rarely think they're smart. In fact, they often rank themselves way below average. On the other hand, people with...
That's interesting. It's interesting, man, but I had to laugh because, I knew a lot of people, man, just a lot of buddies, people and that, used to think of themselves pretty highly as far as, on the, and it just goes to show, no, I'm just playing, but it makes a lot of sense, That's funny, though. I'm one of the people that, like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's not, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but not like, putting myself down, but like never give myself credit for, it don't matter how hard I work or how good I do. I'm always, hard on myself. That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like nothing bothers me, as far as nothing can get to me, because nobody is going to be harder on me than I am hard on myself. So trust me, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're trying to, there's no idea, nothing compared to, the thoughts that go on in this head. But yeah, I guess that's, I don't know. That's an interesting fact though, because if you really stop and think about it, there's some truth, there's some truth to it, obviously.
Low intelligence do the exact opposite. They almost always overestimate their rank by a long shot. The Dunning-Kruger effect basically proves the old
Shout out Kendrick Lamar, man. Ignorance is bliss. And not that he's the first one to ever say that, obviously. It's an old adage like your boy just said here, but that's just where I think I heard it for the first time, was from King Kendrick.
Adage, ignorance is bliss. Let's say you're trying to learn how to draw. When you finish your first drawing, you'll probably think you're great at it. But once you practice and realize how much you don't know, you won't think you're very good anymore. This is why people with low intelligence often rate themselves.
This is what's weird to me, bro. All right, this is already playing with my head, because the fact that you know so little about that subject gives you the confidence and the wherewithal to think you're actually doing well at it, or you're good at it, until you study and months go by, you learn more and more and more about it. The more you learn, the more you realize that you don't know shit about it, and that you are not as good as you once thought you were. It's very interesting to me, man, and it's not an old adage, for nothing. It's just a lot of truth to it, man. Ignorance is bliss, ladies and gentlemen.
Themselves so highly. They don't understand how little they know. Just look at the man who inspired Dunning-Kruger's original experiment. He decided to put lemon juice on his face in order to rob banks. Since
Wow.
lemon juice is used to make invisible ink, he believed he was completely invisible to the bank's cameras.
Okay, I was gonna say, how did he think that would work? That's like, I don't know. That's just like he's clearly thinking illogically because with when they use it with the ink, it's like it's a chemical, construct that makes it that. But I don't know. You just think because you put that, so now I don't understand his thought process on that. But obviously, we're gonna hear it probably didn't work. I'm assuming.
Of course, that wasn't true. He just had high expectations and no knowledge, so he
Yeah.
thought of himself as a genius. Number
Wow.
2, remember remembering. What's your earliest memory? You might remember playing with your parents in the park or one of your first birthdays, but can you actually remember that far back? Neuroscientists
I have a memory of from when I was like a baby. And this crazy is, see, he just said a lot of people have those memories, but can you actually remember, you know, that far back? Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care what he says here. I can, because I know I remember this plain as day, and I've remembered it my whole life. You know what I mean? I remember like being a baby and my mom, and I think the only reason I remember it was because it was so disturbing to me at the time that my mom was holding me, and my grandparents had came over, and my grandma wanted to hold me like they just walked in the door, they just got there. And I remember my mom went to hold or, give me to my grandma, and I just like started bawling and was like kicking and like didn't want to go with her basically. Now I don't know how young I was, but I know I was barely old enough to walk. So yeah, and I remember that it broke my grandma's heart because da 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 because I didn't want her to hold me, but I was I mean I don't even think I was talking yet. So now I know I didn't just make that. Why would I make that up in my head? Because I can remember at the old house. I remember everything in the kitchen. I remember the weird little details, dude, which is insane to me if you think about it. But it is very interesting, man.
recently discovered that your memory works a lot differently than most people think. When you think back to that
I
early
believe
memory,
that.
your mind isn't jumping back in time, it's remembering the last time you remembered. In
Woo,
other
that's deep. That's deep. Your mind isn't jumping back in time. It's remembering the last time you remembered. Can you remember the last time you remembered? Or did you remember the last time you remembered? Or can you remember the very first time you remember? Let me know in the comments, man. If you tell me what's your very first remember, your very first memory. Crazy, man. The human mind is like,
words, your memory is like playing telephone. Every
yeah,
time you re-remember something, it changes a little bit more. Eventually, you
yeah,
won't be able to tell what actually happened and what you added along the way.
yeah.
Number 3,
That's
music
true.
changes perception. The type of music you listen
Yes,
to actually affects how you view the world around.
so true. That is so true, bro, and so interesting because it's like you think musical, it would just be, maybe like at the very most a mood effect. Like, some music can make you happy, make you feel good, make you sad, depressed. And it's like, no, it does so much more than that. It changes the way you think, the way you feel, the way you observe, the way the way you look at the world, the way you look at people. It changes like the way you live your lifestyle. It's insane. I mean, to think about it.
Around you. We all know that music can change your mood. An upbeat
Yeah,
song can
that's
leave
what I
you
was just
feeling on
saying.
top of the world, while a sad one can send you into a downward spiral. But that's
Exactly. I know y'all remember the emo, the emo girls and the emo kids. Like they listen to the emo music, the sad, depressing like rock or whatever. I don't know, but You know, it's all these years, man. Like I didn't even learn this like a couple years ago that email stood for emotional. And I felt so stupid, man. But yeah, like that they were always in the like dark into the darker music, which it's just crazy how it affects you so much, man. It's crazy. I think especially music, you know, movies not as much, not so much. Music especially, but I think everything affects us in one way or another throughout our lives and we just don't realize it as much. Just like the music until you stop and sit and think, you know?
It's not all.
Yeah,
A
I've been talking too much
2011
in this
study
video,
looked at
bro.
whether or not music could affect the way you perceive your environment. Subjects were asked to identify happy and sad faces while different songs played. Turns out, people struggle to recognize happy faces during sad songs and vice versa. The music was making them see things that weren't there. It created something called a perceptual expectation. When you hear one thing through your ears, your brain will expect to see something similar through your eyes. This is why music can improve a workout or help after a breakup. It sets the tone by creating that perceptual expectation.
Crazy.
Number 4, foreign language logic. We all make bad decisions, but what if I told you that you could think more rationally if you do it in another language? A study from the University of Chicago found that people make more logical choices when using a second language. Our reasoning skills are divided into 2 parts. One is systematic and logical, while the other is unconscious and emotional. When you use your first language, you let that emotional side take over. Your biases and knee-jerk reactions cloud your judgment. When you use a less natural language, that rational side steps in.
That's so amazing, bro. That's so true. You know, I've been trying to learn Spanish, you know, for a while. I'm not like actively like learning it daily, you know what I mean? I'm just learning bits here and there, you know, until I know it fully. But I didn't even like recognize what he just said is true until I thought about it myself and it's like, yeah, when you're using your first language, it's off the cuff. It's like, you know, it's all you know. So, but he said your personal biases and everything gets in the way. It clouds your judgment, and you get emotional, and like unconsciously you get emotional. It's weird, bro. It's weird. And then when you go to use another language, it's in a totally different like frame of mind, bro. Like you're more upbeat. Like you say, you're more logical, so you're just wow.
You're forced to
Wow.
put more thought into what you say.
Wow.
Next time you're about to accept a new job or make a big purchase,
it's because you're forced to put a lot more thought into what you're going to say. Therefore, it comes out more logically put together, you know, it's more wow.
frame it in a different
insane.
language. Then you'll know whether or not it's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Number 5, singing reduces anxiety. Singing in the car or shower is a great way to fend off anxiety and depression. Let's say you're driving into work. You're about to give the most important presentation of your life.
Oh, I've done that
Naturally,
before.
you're a nervous
In the
wreck.
car by
So how
myself.
can you keep yourself calm? Turn
Not in
on
the
your
shower.
favorite song and sing as loud as you can. It sounds
in the car,
ridiculous,
I
but
had.
singing floods your brain with endorphins and oxytocin. Both of them relieve stress and improve your
Oxytocin, yeah,
mood.
dog. I thought he was just say oxy something else there for a second. Y'all know what I'm talking about. God. So he switched the T with the C, and yeah, you don't want to mess with that, bro. Trust me.
They make you feel comfortable while
Ain't nothing
keeping
to
your
play
heart
with.
rate and cortisol levels low. And
Okay.
don't worry, you don't have to be good. Even if you're the worst singer in the world, like me, belting it can reduce anxiety and turn your day around. Number 6, rejection hurts. Imagine you made a new friend over the weekend, but when you ask them to hang out a few days later, they blow you off. What does that feel like? To your brain, you might as well have been punched in the face. That's because our brains process emotional and physical pain the same way. Both kinds of pain release the same chemicals and activate the same areas. If you've ever wondered why social rejection hurts so much, this is why. Number 7, canonical perspective. Have you ever thought about how things look in your memory? In the 1980s, psychologists discovered that we remember almost all objects from the canonical perspective.
Yeah, this is interesting. I've always wondered, how people perceive things, not only just physically see them, does everybody see the same thing, or do they obviously perception, well, it's perceptive because they see it in through their eyes. So it's like it's gonna be different from what the way you see it, not the way you physically see it, but the way you see it overall. You know what I mean? It's deep, man. It's deep.
That means we see things from the side and slightly above. If you
Okay.
don't believe me, try it. Draw a cup. Did you draw one circle as though you were looking down on it? Or did you draw it from the side and at an angle so you could just barely see inside? Well, there are a few individual exceptions. You unconsciously see most objects from the exact same vantage point. Number 8, evolving anxiety. About 15 years ago, a study found that the average high school student was as anxious as the average psychiatric patient in the 1950s. Over the last few decades, mental health conditions like anxiety and mood disorders have become increasingly common. In fact, they're treated as a normal thing. If that study were conducted today, I'm sure the numbers would be through the roof. As humanity becomes more disconnected, stressed, and scared, it's more important than ever to pay attention to your mental health.
Yeah.
Number 9, the
You know. Yeah. That's some of the realest shit I ever heard, man. Pay attention to your mental health because I feel like it's the most important thing above your physical health. The two most important, like mental health is one you don't, if it's weird because physical health is one you can see, right? You can see, on the scale you're losing pounds. You can see you're working out, you're getting you're getting toner, you're getting more fit. But with mental health, it's not something you can see. So you really have to just check yourself, take tabs on yourself, find out where areas where you need to work on yourself, and whether you seek therapy, whatever it is, man, do what you got to do. Go for a run, go fishing, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Take care of your mental health, man, cuz it's shit, it's real out here. Trust me, I know. It's like as soon as you think you're one of the strongest mentality persons and life can put you through the ringer, man, and by the end of it you be hanging on by a thread, and you never thought that you would be in that position mentally. So take care of your mental health, man. Take care of your physical health. Stay positive. Bless up. Yeah, we're gonna end it right here, man. Let me know you guys enjoyed the video by leaving a like, and if you want a part 2, you want me to finish this, yeah, hit that like button, man, and I'll do that for y'all. But yeah, hit the subscribe button, join the No Limit family. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace.